dinero se consume en dinero, el dinero es dinero, el dinero es dinero, el dinero es dinero, el dinero es dinero, aprende algo dinero.
Benvenuti a tutti in un altro episodio dell'inglese della persona. Ciao ragazzi, come va? Oggi ho una domanda per te. Voglio dirti una cosa. Questa è la mia domanda. Tu puoi essere ricco e allo stesso tempo essere moralmente giusto? Oggi voglio parlare con te acerca di un tema molto importante, la ricchezza. Hi guys, if you didn't understand a single word of what I was saying, is that today I want to start this podcast saying that I want to talk about something very important. I want to talk about richness or wealth. Remember that the most important vocabulary that you will listen during this podcast will be in the description, so it is easier for you to understand. So before you continue listening to this podcast, go to the description, check the vocabulary, and that will help you to understand much better this. La ricchezza è la espropriazione del lavoro di altri. Basically, the wealth, the richness of a person is the expropriation, the alienation of the work from the other. Okay, that's the idea. That's the topic that we are going to talk and discuss. So I want that you consider one question. Can you be rich? Can we, the people, be rich and at the same time you can consider yourself morally correct? Now, I want to tell you that I don't have exactly an answer for this. My intention really is to think about this question. But my premise that I'm going to go to says, no, you cannot be rich. You cannot be rich and consider yourself morally correct. Now, I want to just give one clarification. When I say you can't be rich, I mean super rich. I'm talking about being disgustingly rich. Okay, not rich like, oh, I have a house in the beach and a good car. No, not that type of rich. I'm talking about the type of rich like Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos, like disgustingly rich that you have more money than one country or something like that. Okay? My whole idea kicks off from this axiom. Wealth is not a good, but the expropriation of the work of the other. So, people tell me something like, oh, they, Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, they are rich because they know how to make money. They are geniuses making money. For many years, I didn't know how to respond to that or how to disvalidate that. But at what moment of my life I listened about a book that the name of this book is Capital in the 21st Century. Okay, the writer of this book, if you want to check it up, is Thomas Piketty. He's, if I'm not mistaken, an economist, a French economist, and he explains something very interesting. In this book, Thomas Piketty explains something with a beautiful equation, very simple. He explains that R is superior to G. What this represents? What is R is superior to G? Okay, this means that the wealth, the richness, grows faster than economy itself. Okay, so basically, if you are the best way to be rich is to be rich. The best way to create money is to be rich. So when a rich person invests their money, they have an interest of around 5 or 6%. But when a regular person invests their money, the returning is between 1 or 2. So the rich people, because they are rich, they have a lot of money. When they invest, they have an interest of their money between a 5 and 6%, and a regular person between 1 or 2. So that's a big difference. Okay, second idea. To be rich is the best way to be rich. To be rich is the best way to create money. Why? Because when you are rich, you have the door open to investment, to projects where you put your money, and that can produce you a lot of money, and you don't have to work on it. So when you're a regular person, you receive a salary, and with that money you normally have to pay rent or the mortgage, you have to pay groceries, you have to pay school, entertainment, whatever. So the little money that rests there, or a fair quantity that you have, if you invest this amount of money, maybe you can invest it with a friend on stock market, whatever. But because the quantity of money that you have for investment is not much, it's not gonna give you a lot of money. But when you have a lot of money, you can make big investments. And because these big investments make a lot of money, rich people can produce a lot of money very fast. So the fastest ways to be rich is to be rich. The fastest ways to produce money is to be rich, because you have the ability to make great, big, enormous investments. So when a person says, oh, Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, they have a lot of money because they are geniuses creating money. I don't want to say doesn't exist merit, doesn't exist any value that they created more money, but to be honest, for example, Elon Musk, he's from South Africa, and he had, his family had a lot of money, millions of money. And so the reality is that when you are rich, that is the best and the fastest way to produce money and to be more rich. So when a person says to me they are rich because they know how to create money, they are not perceiving that because the system that we are, be rich is the best way to be more rich. So yes, they have a merit, they have a value because they created more money, but you cannot really consider them as geniuses. That's my criticism on them. Now, I want to say that exists an exception to the fact that normally rich people come from rich families, because my idea in this moment is that the best way to be rich is to be rich. The fastest way to be rich is being rich already. But exist people that previously didn't have money, didn't have a lot of money. Exist people that they were poor before, and after years they became millionaires. That exists. I don't want to neglect that fact. Yes, exist people that create money more or less from scratch. But these people represent only a 3%, 5%. So the 95, 97%, they are rich because their families were rich. Now, I want to speak about other idea, meritocracy. Meritocracy. What is meritocracy? Meritocracy is that you will receive the results according to your abilities and your effort, how hard you work. So the idea is that if you study college, you work hard, one day you will have a very nice house and a car, and you will go on holidays a lot. The problem is that meritocracy cannot exist when the majority of the rich people come from families that already have money. So when two people start to exist the meritocracy, two people have to start from the same point. But when a person starts having a lot of money, they have the opportunity to create more money because the system is like that. So the meritocracy cannot exist when exists so much inequality because you have more advantages than me. Now, exists an interesting story about that. An experimenting group, made an experiment. So they put two people to play Monopoly, but they rigged the game. They rigged their game because one person in the Monopoly game received more money, more properties, more advantages. Another person received less money, less properties, and he had these advantages. So at the end of the game, of course, won the guy that had more money and had more properties. So they made an interview, and the guy who won the game, who won the Monopoly, asked, "Why do you think you won?" And he said, "Well, because I use a special strategy. I try to buy this and that and blah blah blah." And after they asked the guy who lost, "Why do you think that you lost?" And he said, "Well, because I received less money, and less properties. The system was unfair. He started from a better place where I started." This little psychological experiment shows that normally people who talk about meritocracy is rich people because they don't realize, they don't notice that they are having success because their circumstances are very, very good, because their families have money or because they have good friends, connections, blah, blah, blah. And normally rich people talk about meritocracy to justify his results based on their abilities. So rich people have success because they have better circumstances, or because they have great abilities, or because they have great circumstances and they have abilities. You can select whatever you think is the correct answer. My second argument is to an answer, to the comments, to the response I receive when I talk about this. This is a comment. "This is how the life is. They were born with money. It's just how it is. It is what it is. You have to accept it. You have to accept what is a life like." Okay. Why do we have to accept? No. I want to correct. Yes, we have to accept it. Of course. But we have to change it. Okay? That's my idea. We have to accept things to one day change them. But not because the reality, it is like this We just have to leave it like that. We can change things. We as humans, as thinkers, we can think how improve the life of humans, how improve the life of the world, animals, plants, wherever. My point is, not because it is like this, has to be like this. It can be better. My third argument about this: the accumulation of riqueza, the accumulation of wealth, is wrong. Is almost it's a crime because it's producing poverty, killings, sadness, oppression, whatever, to other countries. Not all people can be rich. And when I say rich, not people can be like, American dreams, stuff like that. No. Why not? Why people can't all be rich? Because, well, first of all, when you say rich, you have to understand what do you mean with that. You cannot be rich like when you watch movies, American movies, and you say, oh, they have a big house, 3 cars, and they work in an office, whatever office work, and it's not really an important person in the company. They just have a regular work, but they have 3 cars and 1 big house, like Home Alone, Mi Pobre Angelito, Home Alone, this movie that live like 12 people in their house, and the guy was a regular guy and all that. That kind of rich person, not all people can be. Why? Because doesn't exist enough resources to produce that kind of richness for everybody. In 2015 in France, they have like a meeting, and they have this plan of, okay, what is the plan, the dream for the neoliberalism? Okay, that everybody can be rich like America is, or America was, whatever his perspective. So in this meeting, like nations meeting in France in 2015, they said you cannot. Not all people can be rich like America is, because doesn't exist enough world. To be rich like America is, we will need the size, the planet, to be 8 times bigger. Okay? We need more resources. And because they don't exist, not all people can be rich like Americans are. So that was the idea. So exists an idea that everybody can have a dignifying life. Everyone can have a good quality life. That is possible according to the calculations, analysis of resources. Yes, everybody can have a house, can have a education, can have food, can have time for leisure. Yes, that kind of richness, yes, can exist. Just dignity in life. That kind of richness, yes, can exist, but no the kind of richness that you can see in movies. That's not possible. We don't have enough resources for that. The fourth argument, okay, people say, okay, they are rich, okay, I accept that, but they are rich, and also because they are rich, they also pay a lot of taxes, right? They are rich, and they pay a lot of taxes. Okay, this is not real. First of all, because exists these fiscal paradises. What is a fiscal paradise? Is this kind of pseudo banks that you put the money there and you don't have to pay taxes. You can avoid taxes. So you can say, well, yes, maybe some rich people put their money there, but the 30% of all the money in the world is stuck in fiscal paradises. 30% of the money is stuck in fiscal paradises. It's just there, it's not circulating, and because the money is stopped in these special banks for rich people, is producing poverty. Because money that is not flowing is money that you can think that doesn't exist. But this money represents resources. So it's more or less like having a lot of water, having a lot of bread, having a lot of, houses there abandoned. Is reserved for the rich people. They don't use it, they don't need it, but it's there. So when you think about money that is not flowing, you have to think not like the cotton money, no paper money, no physical money, but because money represents resources, money represents houses, money represents food, money represents the things that you can buy with it. Now, the other idea is charity. So people say, oh, rich people donate their money to charity. Yes, they do. They donate the money to charity, but they use charity to avoid paying taxes. When you give money to charity, the state, the government forgive you for paying taxes because you're helping the poor. So really, when rich people are donating money to charity, it's because it's convenient for them. One example, Bill Gates gave money to the planting industry. Bill Gates. That was a charity project. Currently, Bill Gates is the owner of the largest fields in the US. So he helped the field industry, of course, but seems that he only did it for avoiding taxes and also for obtaining a personal benefit. We talked about different things. We know that probably the rich people are rich because they have better circumstances, not necessarily because their ability. Okay, we talk about that. We talk about that rich people not really pay a lot of taxes. The last scandal was that Donald Trump didn't pay much taxes. Actually, he paid like $300. We talked that being rich is the best and the fastest way to be more rich. So my last point is, how can a person be rich without expropriate the work of the others? I mean, think about this. If you work hard, if you study, of course, you will have the preparation, the credentials to produce more money, more substance for you and your family. And if you prepare more, you have, compared to others, you will have more preparation, and the idea is that you will have better abilities to provide more. You work more, you study more, you prepare more, you will have more money. That is the idea, okay? Even when you study, work, prepared, even when you have all these, you will produce money, but you will not be disgustingly rich. It's not possible because you have a limited time of work. You have a limited energy. So even if you will make good money, you cannot physically, virtually, you cannot produce a lot of money because exist limits. So Jeff Bezos, he has, the last time I checked, he has a fortune of 198 billions. Billions, not millions, billions. A billion is a million of millions. What? A billion is a million of millions. So when you have 198 billions, wow, how much money is that? It's a lot of money. But my point is, it is not possible for one single human to produce that much money. It's not possible that one human can produce by himself 198 billions. It's not possible one human can do that because we have limitations. So the only way to accumulate that much money is by the alienation of the work, by taking the value produced by others. By taking the money that others produced, you can accumulate that much money. So basically, Jeff Bezos legally took the value, the money produced by others, because that is the only way to be that rich. La ricchezza è l'appropriazione di lavoro di altri. That's the only way, okay? The only way is to take the job, the value, the work produced by the other. But guys, my intention is not that you only believe what I said. My intention is, with all this you listened, that you can question yourself about what is richness. You know, do you really want to be rich? Is worth a sacrifice? What is the price? What is the cost for that? My intention for you is to think about this, to question yourself, to search about this, okay? Because maybe you don't care about money, you don't care about being rich or not, or you know, maybe you don't care much about this, but whether you like it or not, these topics affect you, affect your quality of life. These things affect your happiness, the happiness of your friends and your family. So how we distribute the money, the way the money works, the way that the system works, affects you emotionally, you know, your time, what you do, what you think. So I think this is relevant and important to everybody. My point is to help you to think about this. Don't believe me. All. Search it by yourself. Guys, this is the English of People. I will see you the next time.
Ok, perfecto. Yo concentro, yo dispongo, yo soy así. Bla, 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 bla. El mundo dispara, el mundo consume, la monarquía es absoluta ya. La monarquía es absoluta ya. Mi madre dispone, mi madre se queja, mi madre me grita. Oh por Dios, he salido, agita, agita, agita. Mi madre simplemente levita, levita, levita y evita un puñetazo. ¡Pum! Mi madre simplemente me responde, padre, 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 ja, 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 ja. Mis padres, mis padres, mis padres, ja, 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 ja. Y mi monarquía me consume, grita, grita, grita. Mi madre simplemente me grita, cállate, cállate muchacho. Pau, 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 pau. Ok, perfecto, correcto, correcto, correcto. Mi madre, correcto, perfecto, perfecto, correcto. Ok, la monarquía es así, 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 la monarquía es así.